Salve valorosos! O vídeo de hoje é muito especial porque eu tive a oportunidade de conversar diretamente com os desenvolvedores de Valorant acerca da nova coleção de skins, a coleção Ion, que sai hoje na loja do jogo. Nesse vídeo, os desenvolvedores Pretty e Sean Marino mostram pra gente todas as novas skins e seus upgrades, bem como falam sobre a possibilidade de skins de agentes no futuro e todo o processo por trás da criação de uma skin. Só peço perdão pela qualidade do áudio em alguns momentos, porque tivemos um erro na hora da gravação e eu tentei consertar do jeito que pude. Agora, fiquem com o vídeo.
Oh my god.
And so this for us is like, our very first attempt at like a very like intentional sci-fi weapon, right? It feels very, classic sci-fi industrial design, just very different from the other type of weapon skins we've made before.
This is beautiful.
Do you like sci-fi skins?
Yeah, I do actually, yes. This is a Phantom, as I can see. Which other guns are we having in this skin line?
So we have a Phantom, we have a Sheriff.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, this is really beautiful. It looks like a sci-fi cowboy,
We also have a Bucky.
Nice. Nice, really nice. Does it have sound effects?
Yep.
It does, yeah. They all have 3 tiers of upgrade.
Wow. Very, very nice. The crosshair is not showing when you open up the lenses.
Oh yeah,
but...
I just have the HUD turned off.
Ah, okay, okay. Oh! Oh! I need this so bad.
You gotta upgrade this now.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta
Okay.
do it. Don't make me wait.
Oh no.
We'll start with the upgrades. I'll start with the guns because I feel like it's a lot easier to see in the guns. All right, so we'll start with the firing sounds.
Oh.
Yeah, has kind of like this like just lasery pew pew sound to it.
Yeah, pew pew. Here in Brazil, we say a lot of this word pew pew. Oh, please give me the pew pew. Give me the pew pew skin.
And then the ADS as well, the reticle here.
Mm-hmm.
For our level 3, this is where I think like a lot of it starts coming together.
Ooh, that's so nice! Oh my god! It has a cloak, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so nice! That's definitely going to make the difference. People are gonna love it so badly.
This is something that was super exciting for us to work on too, because it's you get the experience of the gun itself, but then it's kind of like all of this stuff is underneath it the whole time, and it's when you upgrade it, then it finally kind of reveals itself.
Oh my god, I'm so glad I saved some radiant items.
On the bottom right, as you fire, it spins up, and then during the reload,
This is so
get that
awesome.
orb powering up and down. So now that you know sort of like that whole aspect of the transformation, right, we can do that as well for the melee.
Oh, the knife. Oh my goodness, that's one step below a lightsaber. I love it. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. That reminds me so much of a lightsaber. You're going to make me spend some money.
Good. I hope you're happy with it.
I am, definitely. Whoa, that sound.
So all the guns are powered by this orb energy. Kind of the unspoken lore.
That skin line is something to, kind of speak something about the lore of the game. Kind of.
No.
No, it's
Skin fantasy.
Oh, okay, mere skin fantasy, okay. Very nice. This is
And you can even
fantastic.
see here, there's a few things, right? Like, you don't necessarily experience with the Phantom. The silencer at the front there is always sort of glass, and so it's one of those things that you kind of get a little bit of that experience first before you go ahead and get like the full transform aspect. And we do that with each of the guns, where here, for example, if I kind of go into third person to show you, typically, the front of the barrel kind of has this covering on it that's just like the white plastic, but then, you kind of go into the third level of upgrade and it kind of has that same glass treatment on top of the barrel as well. So we try and find ways to like make the model feel like it's changing as you upgrade it, as well as adding the VFX and things.
From all the skin lines I've seen recently, this is one of the ones that I believe people will feel more comfortable like upgrading the skin, you know, the tiers of the skin, because it's so cooler, way cooler. Each tier it gets way more cooler.
This comes out on Wednesday.
Did you have any big inspiration on doing these skins?
Yeah, so it started with a lot of just inspiration from sci-fi design from like Daniel Simon or Sid Mead, like very classic just sci-fi design from like Tron or like the Oblivion movie, things like that. We wanted to, you know, find a way to, like we said, make like the most sci-fi version of a skin that we could have, like something kind of just like hits you in the face with that genre. With the skins, we could definitely go a lot further than we are able to do with like the base weapons, and so we felt like for this it was a really good opportunity to kind of go all out and have like energy sources and that clean white plastic kind of look and just glowing blue lights, all of that kind of aspect that really taps into some of that like classic sci-fi feel.
Does it have a I don't know how you speak it in English, it's like the when you kill someone there's this animation?
Oh yes, it does.
There is?
Yes.
Can we check it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! This is so cool! Are there any different versions of this skin? Or is it only white?
Yeah, for variants, yeah, there's no variants for this one.
No variants, okay.
A lot of that kind of comes down to, you know, when we're making the skin line, we wanted, again, this to feel very classic, and we had at one point talked about like if we were to do variants for this, like what could they be, and in some cases it just didn't feel appropriate to kind of like start doing those, and we wanted to make sure that like we made sure that the players who want this like very, again, classic industrial sci-fi or industrial design inspired sci-fi skin line to feel like they were getting just that, right?
We were really excited for this skin line. We started it a year ago, so it's to the date, November 11th is when it's coming out. That's the date we started working on this.
One whole year ago? Are all these skins that have been already dropped in the game, all of them have like 1 or more year of development?
Yep, takes a long time.
We actually put visual effects on the buddy itself, so it kind of has that orb inside the little casing for the buddy there.
How many people are involved in the creation of a skin line like this one, for example?
Like 6, I would say.
6.
Yeah, for a single skin line, yeah, you'll have like one artist at least of each discipline, so like one concept artist, a 3D artist, animation, VFX, you know, depending on the need, audio, QA, things like that. So yeah, maybe like 6-7 people.
While we were working on this skin, at the same time we were actually working on Oni.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 2 Phantoms being developed at the same time, the Oni Phantom and the Ion Phantom.
Mm-hmm. The Oni Phantom was released way earlier, right? I believe it was around 2 months ago, something like that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that was our first evolving Phantom as well.
Yes.
So even though, you know, players were asking, they're like, where are the Phantoms? Where are the Phantoms? We had, you know, multiple that we were, even the Singularity had been done at that point, but we just have to balance out when everything releases.
And we had to do final touches on the other guns, on the variants. You know, players ask us why we don't do melee variants. It's because doing a full set of variants plus the melee variants is a lot of work, and that takes away from us making more skins. So maybe somebody here would say, I want Ion, you know, I want Ion variants, but what if you need them and you might not get a ton of skin line?
How do you decide which weapons are you going to include in the bundle? For example, when do you know it's time to make a Vandal skin or a Phantom skin or a Frenzy skin, which is a weapon with a much lower usage?
So you have your troll answer.
Yeah, my troll answer is I just have a randomizer and I just click a button and it gives me a random set of 5.
That's fine. That's an answer.
For some skins, I'll do that where it's just like, hey, this is something that we want to have like as a what we call a small skin, where it's just a texture only. It's not going to involve as many people working on it, so we just kind of get this one through the pipeline. But what we do is we look at, you know, in a patch, we'll look at on either side of it. So say we have, you know, Reaver and then Ion and then whatever's coming after that. We'll look at all of those skins together and say, what's missing here? Is there any opportunity for something that we haven't done yet, right? So if we haven't seen, say for example, an Odin skin in a while, hey, we'll take a look at our calendar. There's no Odin skins in Act 3. Maybe we should put one in there. And so we kind of balance that out. And in the beginning, we have our schedule figured out months and months ahead of time. And so that's why you see a lot of players saying like, why are there so many Guardians? Or how come there aren't enough Phantoms? And it's because we had planned a lot of this stuff out before we even launched the game. And so we were just making a bet on some cases that like players would want more Vandal skins than Phantoms, or want more Guardian skins than they do currently. But now it's just a balancing act. So we say, what have players asked for, right? And they say, hey, we want more Phantom skins. Okay, cool, we're going to give more Phantom skins. But then we also want to make sure that we're not giving too much. So in a given act, say if we have a skin line that has, or 3 skin lines that have Phantoms in it, we want to make sure that we have a Vandal in one of those as well. And so it's just kind of going through that. And then as well, we want to have at least a Phantom, Vandal, or Operator in a skin that we feel like players are going to really gravitate towards, because those are very high usage guns. And so, what we saw with things like Glitch Pop, for example, is it didn't have those. And so a lot of players were saying, I like this thematic, but the guns aren't necessarily my favorite. I don't use those as much. And so we have to make sure that we provide the weapons that players feel they're going to use. And every bundle comes with 4 or 5, and so we have to make sure that like we also fill out the roster and just make sure that we're giving everybody an opportunity to have a skin for a gun that they do like.
Maybe one day we'll do that set that'll have all 3.
Wow.
Which would be really great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A Phantom, a Vandal, and an Operator.
Definitely, yeah. When you spoke about the Glitch Pop line, that was exactly what I had in mind, because I remember what I thought when I saw that bundle, because I loved the theme of the bundle. I found all of the skins so great, but I couldn't help but to think that, for example, I never use Odin. I rarely use Frenzy. So what I did was basically I bought the knife, which was one of the best knives ever. That was a incredible knife. And the rest of the weapons I didn't buy the bundle, but I managed to buy when they came to my store. I don't know if you can answer this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. If you can't answer it, no problem. Are there any chances to launch thematic skins alongside some franchises? For example, you team up with Disney and launch a line of skins of I don't know, Avengers, for example, something like that.
We haven't started, but there's no reason we wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, you give me an opportunity to do anything Star Wars, I'm gonna jump on it. But
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's not our call at that point. That's kind of the big business deal that has to happen to go
Yeah,
through.
yes. But there are not any policies that, for example, oh no, we don't do partnerships or skins. There's not something like that, right?
No, we're open to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, let us dream, please. An Iron Man gun, that would be my child dream, for example. A knife, that would be a lightsaber. Probably you have people asking you every day about skins for the agents, right? But I believe that this question goes way deeper, because you need to make... It's not like doing skins for League of Legends, for example, right? You need to pay attention to lots of things. For example, you need to make a skin that's not going to spot someone who is hidden in a given corner, and that skin needs to be neutral. That skin can't give position and stuff. I don't know if you're going to release skins for agents someday, but if you would, what would be the top challenge in doing this without interfering in the meta gaming, in the games that, for example, Pros play, or Immortal and Radiant Q? I believe it's not like just making a skin and putting it in the game, right? There are lots of factors to check, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It took us, a year and a half of testing to figure out gun skins, right?
Yeah, just to figure out like, hey, when I see this thing on the ground, do I know what it is, right? And making sure that that was okay, that we weren't like ruining anybody's experience with just that. And yeah, just like you're saying, at a high level, right? If I like peek this corner, I see somebody up here. Right now, they blend in with the environment in a certain amount. Their colors don't pop out as much. If we ever did anything to affect that, like that would obviously give that person, the attacking person, an advantage here. And so we absolutely wouldn't want that. And so where it kind of goes is the things we have to consider is like, if we did skin an agent, right, is it a thematic skin, right? Do we give an agent a sci-fi twist, or are they just wearing a different outfit that they would normally wear like in the real world? If we were to skin them thematically, do we change their abilities to match, right? What if Phoenix ended up having like not a firewall because his skin made him not a fire character? And we'd have to like kind of consider a lot of those things, and ultimately it comes down to gameplay. If I see something in the world, even if I don't see the character, but I see one of their abilities, like say Raze's, Boomba comes around the corner here and it looks like something different, do I immediately know what it is, or does it take me a second to react? And if it does, then that's not a good thing. We want to make sure
change, right? So like the question for our gun skins, right? We don't show anything in third person except the model. So the effects, the audio, the animations, it's all the same. So the question is like how, I think the high level question is, how do you make a skin for a character that's going to feel cool for the player but not feel bad for everyone else? So maybe you are playing Raze and your Boomba is actually a cat running at people, and it's cool for you, but everybody else still sees a Boomba. Is that still fun for the player? Because we think we know the answer, which is like going too far in third person is going to ruin the game. Not just like you said for Immortal and Radiant players, but for everybody. It's the same reason a lot of times I see comments on Reddit and online like, hey, I bought the Reaver melee, or I bought the Elder Flame melee. How come my allies and my enemies don't see the VFX on it? I'm mad. And then I explain, I'm like, hey, you're running around with this like fireball essentially in your hand. That's what it's going to look like from a distance. People are going to be confused.
Right.
So we don't show any of that. We just show the model.
Yes.
Oh, I get it. I understand now. So like competitive integrity is king. Gameplay is king. So how do we make something that's going to be cool, but not feel like it's disrupting gameplay?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. For example, people often ask me something like, don't you think that there should be agent skins in the game? And I say, well, I would love to see new agent skins in the game, but you need to consider some facts. For example, the mere fact of changing Cypher's head, for example, that would be a game changer, for example, because Cypher is hidden behind a box, and now that he has a bigger head, now people can spot him and pre-fire him, for example. There are lots of things to consider. This is way harder than making gun skins, for example.
Yeah, and we experience this a little bit on the dev side of things when we're testing new characters, right? For example, when we were testing Skye, and before her character model was made, we have like a generic, just prototype character, and then when someone actually changed her character model to be like the Skye character that it is now in game, it was shocking for players or the developers who had played against that prototype model for such a long time, because they got used to that expectation. And so it's just like that one jarring aspect of like, I'm used to this, and now you're making me have to like relearn something that I shouldn't have to relearn.
They often compare to League of Legends, but it's way different, because in League of Legends you can spot the enemy and just leave it there, just stay behind the towers or don't engage. And in Valorant, when you see the enemy, you need to engage, or otherwise you're going to die, right? You can't compare a MOBA to an FPS in that.
League has like such different silhouette reads, right? Like no one's going to confuse Caitlyn with Cho'Gath. They have a lot more leeway. Same with Overwatch, right? They have a lot more leeway because they have such drastically different silhouettes. No one's going to confuse Genji and D.Va. But in our game, the silhouettes are all very, very close intentionally. So there's a lot to be discovered. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a very long time to prototype it, to get it right. Because ultimately, we want to do it right, not to just do it for the sake of doing it.
But that's very nice, guys. This is amazing. Congratulations for your work.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much. I look forward to speak to you guys once again.
Absolutely.